Alright, this is our video game that we play. I'll just read the rules very briefly. I will read a story to you.
Okay.
You must remember the story, and we'll call somebody else in, and you have to tell them the story.
Okay.
And they will pass it along. This is similar to that game of telephone that children play. And pardon the dog. But alright. The title is the Endangered Species Act Bad for Endangered Species? John List Thinks It Is, by Stephen D. Levitt, author of Freakonomics. My colleague and co-author John List is one of the most prolific and influential economists around. He got a new working paper with Michael Margolis and Daniel Osgood that makes the surprising claim that the Endangered Species Act, which is designed to help endangered species, may actually harm them. Why? The key intuition is that after a species is designated as endangered, a decision has to be made about the geographic areas that will be considered critical habitats for that species. Get out! Get out! Get out! An initial set of boundaries is made after which, by the way, saying get out is not necessary.
This is. I wouldn't want to remember this if I. Okay, basically our story today is we're trying to talk about the debate on whether putting animals on the endangered species list is actually good for the animals that are on the list. And it's based on an argument by a guy named John List and a colleague of his. And their theory is that once an animal is put on the endangered species list, they are zoned into habitats for the animal itself. But at the same time, a lot of the developments around these particular endangered species animals.
Today our story is about endangered animals and how they get put on this list and how you make habitats for them. This guy named John Sims developed this list, and they were doing this study to look at why so many animals that are on the endangered list don't get off the list. You know, they're
tasty.
they're tasty. Okay, so they do. Ben, stop laughing. They have this habitat, and they put all these endangered.
Okay, so there's the endangered animals list, the endangered species list.
Okay.
Evidently there have been, it was created, I was told by John Sims. No dates or anything.
Okay.
There have been evidently 100,000 species put on the list, of which 39 have survived. They put them in, I guess they put them on the list for different habitats. Evidently they don't take any actions beyond putting them on the list. Crap, there really wasn't a whole bunch of...
Apparently this was a story about the endangered species list that was created by Mr. John Sims. There have been over 100,000 species put on the endangered species list, and only 39 still live.
Are you gonna look at me, or are you gonna look at the camera?
Well, I don't know. I guess I can split time. The story is Endangered Species Act. The list has 100,000 creatures on it. Only 39 are currently alive. And
39 what?
Species.
Okay, on the endangered list.
Mm-hmm. And of course, this is all completely unfactual, so don't remember it for an actual test.
Beautiful. Okay. They're on the endangered species list. There are over 100,000 animals on that list, animals, insects, whatever, on the endangered list. Of that list, there's 39,000 that are still remaining, and oh man, of that 39,000, there are, I remember now, thanks for talking.
Right now on the endangered species list, there are 100,000 animals. Once put on, they can then be taken off. Of those species, only 39,000.
Well, Brandon, I wish I could say there's a whole lot to this story, but there really isn't. What I got was very cryptic. Basically, there's an endangered species list, and there are 100,000 species.
From what I understand, there's a list of endangered species. There's about 100,000 species on this list.
Okay.
And there's actually...
There are 100,000 endangered species. Can you believe that?
No.
Well, the crazy part though.
Okay, there are 100,000 species of there are 100,000 endangered species. Only.
Alright, so there's this article about scientists and how they estimate that there are about 100,000 species, rare species.
Okay, there was an article in a magazine written by scientists who believe that...
Okay, there's an article written by, by scientists that said there are over 100.
Okay. There was this article that scientists did that said that there was 100,000 species.
Okay, so apparently there was this article that was written by the scientists, and he said that at one point there were 100,000 species, and we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently there was this article that was written by the scientists about species. There was 100,000 species, and
Apparently there was a scientist who wrote the story about this species, and there were like 100.
There was a scientist who studied a species, and at first there were 100,000.
Okay, there was a scientist who was studying a specific species. Originally he had...
Okay.
I know.
Just
All right.
please.
Okay, it was some crazy scientist, and he was collecting some species into the fight.
Make it more interesting.
You can tell me what you were told.
Okay, there was a scientist who had an experiment of 1,000 things, and it